There's one business that will not go out of business, and that's real estate business. and South India is a very good example of that in terms of the fact that it's among the fastest growing and the most dynamic real estate markets. Cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Chennai, and even Coimbatore are leading both in housing sales and office absorption, outpacing, I'm told, traditional markets like NCR and Mumbai. So let's get straight to the chase on this one. And let's welcome Sanjay Dutt, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Tata Realty and Infrastructure. Very warm round of applause.
Thank you.
He's a top expert on the subject. And so while keeping South India in mind, maybe we can get a brief overview of how the real estate market in India is. Is it booming? Where is it going? And how is South India doing in comparison to the rest?
Sure. So the biggest demand driver of any economic activity is the jobs. And the commercial real estate is on the forefront. In last 2 years, India has done about 80 million square feet absorption in the top 8 cities. And South covers roughly about 60% of that market. And this is consistent. So IT and e-commerce, telecom, banking, financial services, healthcare, all of these are the drivers. And they all are seeking top talent. And South actually represent a very healthy pool of talent. In fact, right this city, Coimbatore, with over 400 colleges and talent, where you have more than 70% of the workforce local, not 35%, which normally is the case in many other cities, largely dependent on migrant, is the biggest attraction for any city.
Okay. That's very happy news for all the Coimbatorans here on this one. But let's start with 2 segments, of course. Let's start with the home prices in the south. They apparently have surged quite considerably. 50% is the last estimate we've heard in 2 years, the past 2 years. How sustainable is this growth? And let's look at the affordability versus the wage growth gap. There seems to be availability and affordability at the high end, but there is a lot of availability, but no purchases happening in the middle end. Is that a fact or lower end? How does the market show?
The affordability of real estate will always depend on the income availability of the people. I think the prices, if you look at Form 16 of any employee in the room, you will see a surge in income. Yes, sometimes real estate markets are speculative and people tend to invest more in real estate and then leads to high prices and becomes beyond reach sometimes, but it's not sustainable beyond a point. So I think there will be a slowdown, correction, consolidation eventually, but keep in mind every time it comes down, it goes up higher than the last peak. So it will always remain attractive.
So it's like the stock market in India. It does go down, but it stays quite high.
Demand and supply.
Right.
Also to throw some light, land valuations have gone up. Because sanitized land is difficult to get. Then you have to invest in approvals, you have to invest in design. Also the standards of living, the expectation, the aspirations have gone up. So the infrastructure that you're building in housing complexes today are not what they used to be. So you want to have the experience of a resort or a hotel or a very well-equipped infrastructure. And for that, you're willing to pay a premium.
Right. Let us talk about the challenges you face. There is a lot of positive that's happening, but when you look at ease of doing business and other factors, how would you rate that and what are the key,
Ease of doing business, and if I may put it, cost of doing business in India is an issue. India is one of high cost of capital, high cost of land. So when you spend 100 rupees, you spend nearly 85% on the land value in most tier 1 cities. In tier 2 cities, you spend nearly 50% on land value, and the rest is construction. And most of the money goes in cost of capital. So if the project is delayed or if the approval takes longer, the cost of capital is riding on the project, and therefore that gets transferred to the end buyer. So these things play a very important role. If somehow the government can crack approval in less than 3 months, including environment, very objectively I'm talking. And then if you do the precast construction and the technology that is available today, we enhance those and reduce the project cycle from 5 years to 2.5 years. you will never talk about affordability. It'll be affordable, and it'll be efficient, and it'll be accessible, and you can scale much faster.